Barnaby Jones, starring Buddy Ebsen, also starring Lee Merriweather, with guest stars Mitchell Ryan, Jacqueline Scott, James Callahan, Robert Mandan, John Carter. Tonight's episode, Counterfall.
May I help you?
What? Oh, I don't know. My name is Greg Alban. I received the subpoena to appear in court. Must be some mistake. I didn't witness any accident.
Well, it looks in order. There is some mistake. I'm afraid you'll have to explain it to the court.
No, you don't understand.
I'll check on it. You sit right over there. I'll call you.
Press conference.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you'll have your questions ready, Judge Lennox has a full docket. He can only give you 5 minutes. Your Honor? All right, now don't growl.
Is it true, Judge Lennox, that you intend to reject your appointment to the state Supreme Court?
Well, gentlemen, you know as well as I do, the governor hasn't made his selection public.
Senator Fox says you're far and away the odds-on favorite, sir.
I know, fellows, you're familiar with my feelings of the importance of the lower court decisions. I feel the present bench I occupy is an essential example of that principle. Now, if I were to get the appointment, there's no way, unless of my good conscience, could I...
Your Honor! Hey, out of the way. Hey, get him. Come on. Watch out, he's got a gun. Keep going.
Stay away from me.
Stay away, officer. Stay back.
Keep rolling, Eddie.
All of you, stand back. Don't you follow me. Where are the deputies?
Where are the phones?
Where are the deputies? Where are the deputies? He's shot. He's dead. Get a phone.
Do a call.
Thank God.
Thank you.
Good night.
Night-night.
See you in the morning.
Righto.
Don't move.
You can count on it.
Where's your gun? Easy. right, now your wallet.
Whatever you find in there isn't gonna make it all worthwhile.
All right, stay where you are.
If you took a correspondence course in armed robbery, post office must have lost one of your lessons.
There's $5,000 in there.
Yeah, I see it. What's it for?
My name is Greg Albin, and I want you to find out who murdered me today.
I think you've got it backwards. On the 5 o'clock news, I saw you murder Judge Lennox today.
That's what you think you saw. But my life ended in that courthouse today.
Smartest thing you can do is turn yourself into the police.
I've been in jail once. They'll never believe me. Not after the way I was set up. I was framed.
The APB they've got out on you says you're armed and dangerous. They'll take you, alive or dead.
It doesn't matter. Unless someone can help me, it's all over for me anyway. But I want you to find out who pulled that trigger.
I'll need more information on this.
Look, I've heard about you, Mr. Jones. Now, I've risked my life for these few minutes here. Please find out. Please. For my wife and for my kids, I'm not a murderer. Somebody's got to believe that. All right, don't move. Don't move. The keys. You're my only hope, Mr. Jones. Please.
You close the door, darling. Close it hard. Oh, can you hold it?
Morning.
Look, no more, please. I mean, reporters or police, I said everything I had to say last night.
Mrs. Albin, my name is Barnaby Jones. I'm a private investigator. Your husband hired me.
Greg hired you? I don't understand.
Well, neither do I. She gave me $5,000 last night.
This is some kind of a trick, isn't it, Mr. Jones?
Well, it is. It's a pretty expensive one, just to answer a few questions.
What do you want to know?
Did he mention Judge Lennox? He told me he'd been behind bars.
It was Judge Lennox who put him there.
Were you married at the time?
Greg escaped from prison about a year before we met. He was innocent then, and I believe he still is.
Well, if he's innocent, he ought to turn himself over to the authorities.
I don't know where he is. And if I did, I wouldn't...
Mrs. Albin, this case has had a lot of exposure. The police will probably find him within a matter of hours. The way he talked last night, he didn't intend to be taken alive.
Oh, no.
It doesn't have to end this way.
You can help him?
Well, that's what he hired me for, but I can't help him unless I can find him.
Don't do that, darling. Please. He started his first machine shop in a little place at 123 Netter. He kept it for storage at first when he built a big building across town, but whenever he has a problem to think through, he still goes back there. Calls it his hiding place.
Thank you.
What the devil are you doing here, Barnaby?
Is Albert in there?
Now, officers were making a routine check of the property when they spotted him. Now, two of you guys go around in that alley there. Cover that. That way. You two guys get up on the roof. Give me that bullhorn.
Alvin, now, nobody has to get hurt. Just throw your gun out and come out with your hands in the air. You don't stand a chance.
You get down, Albin's armed.
He's also my client.
This business must be getting tough to come by.
He's got a wife and 2 kids. I don't think he wants to see anybody killed, except maybe himself.
Barnaby Jones, Greg. I want to come in and talk to you.
There's nothing to talk about now, Mr. Jones. Change things.
Will you get back here until he's in custody? This is my responsibility.
Just trying to keep a big mistake from happening.
He made the mistake when he killed Judge Lennox. Now, will you get back here? I don't want anybody else hurt. Out here on the double.
He'll need it. He's in bad shape.
I had no choice, Barnaby.
Yeah, I know. Strange thing about him, he didn't think he did either.
How's it look, Doctor? His vital signs are stabilizing enough for surgery, but it's marginal.
What are his chances?
1 in 4, maybe. You'll have to excuse me, gentlemen. I have to check on the OR.
Boy, I'd give a month's pay if he had said even money.
If Greg had fired, you might have paid with a lot more.
I better call in.
Mrs. Albin, they're preparing to take him into surgery now. He has a fighting chance.
Oh, thank goodness. Mr. Jones, this is Hilda Waters, Greg's secretary.
Miss Waters?
Mr. Jones, Mr. Albin is a very fine man. And those terrible things they're saying about him are just not true.
Miss Waters, is there any reason for Mr. Albin to have been upset yesterday? Was there any trouble at the office?
No, sir. Why, he had a smile for everyone. He's the nicest man I've ever worked for.
Is there any explanation for his going down to the courthouse yesterday?
Why, to answer the subpoena.
What subpoena?
Man delivered it just before closing, the day before yesterday.
Did you see the man?
No. But the subpoena said that Mr. Alban was to appear as a witness at 9 o'clock yesterday morning.
Betty, would you check that out?
Certainly. The court clerk's office is still open. I can just make it.
Barnaby?
Excuse me.
Ballistics just checked the gun. It's the same weapon that killed Judge Lennox.
Are you certain?
There's no question. Also, we've nailed Alban. Real name is Arnold. Went down for armed robbery 1 to 10. He and his cellmate busted San Quentin 8 years ago.
His cellmate?
Kelly. Dennis Kelly. He turned himself back in and served his time. Cleared parole about a year ago.
His cellmate ought to know more about Greg than anyone.
Barnaby, we've got Alban locked. That armed robbery charge?
Yeah, what about it?
The judge that sentenced him was Judge Lennox. Now, that day, Alban threatened that if he ever got free, he'd kill him. 50 witnesses, Barnaby. We've got our man.
Maybe, Lieutenant. But until I tie up some loose ends, I've still got a client. Hi. Thank you. Mr. Kelly?
Yeah.
I'm Barnaby Jones.
I know you.
I'd like to ask you a few questions about Greg Alban, alias Arnold, ex-cellmate of yours.
Look, I did my time. I served parole. I haven't seen or heard of Greg in 8 years.
I'm not a police officer, Mr. Kelly. I'm a private investigator. Trying to help Greg any way I can. Figured you two were friends.
Sit down. We broke out together. Can't get much closer than that.
But you went back.
Yeah, I got scared. Of the same thing that finally happened to Greg. How's he doing?
Not too well. He claims that he was innocent of that armed robbery charge.
I was the only guilty man ever in San Quentin, Mr. Jones.
Did he ever talk to you about Judge Lennox?
The hanging judge? I'll pass on that.
He's the judge that sentenced you, isn't he?
No, I was luckier. I wasn't straight with you just now. I saw Greg about 6 months after I got out.
Did he still maintain he was innocent?
Yeah, like always. But Lennox, no, I never got over that hang-up. Even the last time I saw him.
When was that?
About a month ago. It was like he was right back in that cell block. Lennox was an obsession with him. He wanted him dead, Mr. Jones.
Help!
Oh, excuse me. I got it. Come on, honey. Mr. Jones, this is my fiancée, Miss Whitley. How do you do?
How would you like to dive into a nice, cool daiquiri, Mr. Jones? Only take a second.
Well, thank you, but all my daiquiris come straight from the dairy. Nice to meet you.
Mr. Kelly? Mr. Jones? Greg's wife and kids, if they need anything, money, anything, let me know.
Thank you. I'll bear that in mind.
Well, I got your message to meet you here. What's all this about?
Did you get anything?
Absolutely zero. I went through every subpoena record for the last 3 months. I even went through all of the bailiff receipts. There is no record of a subpoena issued to a Greg Alban.
That's what I suspected. It's customary to give a witness reasonable notice.
You made me go through all that work for nothing.
Maybe for something.
Room's all set and ready to roll, Mr. J.
Betty, you remember Snipper Wilcox?
I sure do. Hi, you Snipper. How's the girlfriend?
Well, I haven't seen much of her since Mr. J got my wheels back for me. You see, when she asked to borrow my car, I didn't know that she meant forever. You ready, Mr. J?
Anytime.
Roll it, Harry.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you'll have your questions ready. Judge Lennox has a full docket. He can only give you 5 minutes. Your Honor? All right, now don't crowd.
Is it true, Judge Lennox, that you intend to reject your appointment to the state Supreme Court?
Gentlemen, you know as well as I do, the governor hasn't made his selection public.
Senator Fox says you're far and away the odds-on favorite, sir.
All right, now, fellas, you know my feelings as far as the importance of the lower court's decisions. I feel that the present bench that I occupy is the
Could you cut the sound?
Of that principle.
Sure.
Now, if I were...
Yeah, it's just about here that Albin fires.
I wish I could be as sure as that makes it seem.
Well, that's it, Mr. J.
Didn't I see another cameraman at that press conference? Any chance of getting his footage?
Yeah, maybe. I'll take a few phone calls.
I'd appreciate it.
You got it.
Call me when you get the other film.
Absolutely.
Yes, that's what I said. Take all the action you can on Calaveras. Yeah, if I ever led you wrong, the word from his coach is the kid's ulcer's acting up. 3 hard games, he won't get a racket on full reserve. That's right. And we pulled the usual percentage. Great. See you when you get to the coast. Kelly, how's it going?
Grootman's contribution from the Midwest basketball action.
Yeah, a little better than we expected.
This isn't.
So the police will take responsibility for shooting him.
Rex, I set Greg up to do some hard time for Judge Lennox's death, not to get him killed.
Would you rather have me standing in front of Lennox for that fight-fixing charge? He would have thrown the book at me.
I just wish it could have been done some other way.
Well, there was no other way. Lennox refused to change a venue. He refused to take himself off the case. He wanted to nail me, Kelly.
I know. I just hate to see a good guy like Greg go down for it, that's all.
Now, don't forget you've got a stake in this, too. My lawyer tells me that the judge who's going to hear the case now is good for no more than 6-month sentence, maybe even suspended. Or either way, you may have to take over for a while.
Don't worry, I can handle it.
Hey, look. Riker took Lennox out. The police have their man. They have their motive. It's over and it's clean. So just try and forget it.
Just like that, huh?
That'll make you feel better when things have cooled down. I'll figure out a way to see that Albin's wife and kids are taken care of, okay?
You'll have to do better than that.
What are you talking about?
I had a visit from a private detective, Barnaby Jones. He's nosing around trying to prove that Greg didn't kill Judge Lennox.
But what can he prove? There are 10 million witnesses.
I know, but just in case he comes up with something, remember, it's my neck that's sticking out. I'm the only one involved that can be tied directly to Greg.
Okay. I'll phone Cincinnati. I'll fly Riker out again to keep an eye on. What's his name?
Jones. Barnaby Jones.
Mr. Jones gets too close, we'll put him out of business, okay?
See you where we'll be in about 5 minutes.
Oh, Doctor, how is he?
Well, the next 24 hours should tell us a lot. You know, for a man who tried to get himself killed, he's putting up one devil of a fight in there right now.
When can I see him?
As soon as we set up the monitors, we'll move him into his room. It shouldn't be more than a half an hour.
If you'd like to, I could hold these questions.
No, it'll probably take my mind off things.
Ms. Albin, do you know a man named Dennis Kelly?
Oh, I don't want to get him into trouble.
Well, Mr. Kelly himself said that he had kept in touch with Greg.
Greg felt very close to Dennis. I think he was grateful that he had someone he didn't have to lie to other than me.
Did you ever hear him say that he'd like to see Judge Lennox dead?
Oh, no. Greg was... He was really like a different man once he took on the responsibility of a family. In his business.
During the last week when Judge Lennox was in the news, Greg didn't even then discuss him with you?
Oh, wait a minute. Yes, he did say something. He said that he thought the judge should take the vacancy because we needed a strong man to balance out the court right now.
You sure?
Absolutely. He said that he thought the judge was a fair man. That he was wrong in Greg's case, but there was a difference between being wrong and being fair.
Cheers.
Oh,
gracias. Oh, Lieutenant, glad to see you made it.
You know, I put away guys who don't con nearly as well as you do. Hello, Betty.
Inés, tres más, una más, número,
One more number 3. Pull up a chair. What got your dander up?
Now, this is what you were about to ask for. This way I saved myself the indignity of being bribed by a couple of enchiladas.
Betty, do you recall my saying anything about bribing an officer of the law?
well, when I invited the lieutenant to join us for lunch, I did drop a hint that you would like to see the files on Greg Albin and Dennis Kelly. Now, if that constitutes bribery, well,
Why Dennis Kelly, Barnaby?
I just wanted to see a comparison of the records of your model parolee and the vicious escapee who is my client.
So now all of a sudden Kelly belongs to me.
Who is World Promotion Enterprises he works for?
Well, they produce arena events, conventions, rock concerts. What is it, Barnaby? Albin has got to be the lamest case you've ever taken. Why?
I'd like an answer to that myself.
Well, you know that big insurance company down the block, they have a 2-year rider in their policies against payment on suicide cases.
Well, now, what does that have to do with Albin?
Well, the odds are 10,000 to 1 that anyone bent on self-destruction will change his mind within 2 years.
So?
You want me to believe that Albin waited to raise a family, build a successful business. He had everything in the world to live for, and then suddenly decided to go back and follow through on an 8-year-old threat to kill a judge?
Okay. But you said yourself there can be 1 in 10,000.
I want a little better bet than that. Say, 4 to 1 that you ask for seconds on those enchiladas.
The sauce, please. Sure. And the pepper.
Yeah, Turner. Don't worry, I'm with them. I'll wait for your signal.
Yes, it's your own. Help, please. Out. Calvin, till I find out.
Right there. You know these fellas?
Well, most of them. We all work the same street.
The guy in the dark blue suit and the mustache, do you know him?
No. Why him?
He's in the area the shots came from, and he's the only one with his hands free. All the rest of them are holding mics or notepads.
You mean other than Albin?
Hey, Mr. J, you mean you really think that one of these guys shot Lennox? Hey, would you close that door? We're working in here. Hey, come on.
I'll get it, Snipper.
Thanks.
Can you move this ahead one frame at a time?
Sure.
Now, in all the confusion, the man in a dark blue suit is the only one who moved directly to Albin, where the shots are supposed to have come from. Could I have this piece of film?
No sooner said than done. There you go.
Thank you. With hands like that, you should have been a surgeon.
Are you kidding? I am. The only problem is that most of my patients have a chance at the box office to die over and over again. Is there anything else I can do for you, Mr. J?
What about the trims from the other stations?
Well, I spliced them all together in sequence, except for the light cues and the slates. They're really nothing but a bunch of junk. They're at the end of that sequence.
I don't mind double features. Go.
Okay. As I said, it's nothing but a bunch of junk. Poppy shop. Cameramen can never resist a good-looking chick.
Who?
What do you want to bet? He wants an 8x10 blow-up of that one.
You're just about right, because unless my eyesight is failing, that is Joan Whitley, Dennis Kelly's fiancée. Snipper, get your scissors.
Got him. For you.
Thanks, Snipper. That's one I owe you.
Anytime, Mr. J. Bye, Betty.
Bye-bye, Snipper.
Yeah, what can I do for you?
I just came by to pick up the Lennox film.
Oh, well, you don't have to do that. I plan to have the cans picked up in the morning.
Yeah, well, we need it tonight.
Hey, wait a minute, don't I know you? Yeah, that's right. You're the guy who was with the other reporters in the Lennox film. What are you, with KBEX?
Yeah, but we'd like to look at all of it.
Oh, sure. Sure, why don't I check it out at the station first, okay? Just be a second.
Barnaby, sometimes I'm not sure whether I should be on the city's payroll or yours.
What's the difference as long as the work gets done? Betty, would you get the lights?
Oh, I recognize Kelly's mugshot. Who's this?
Joan Whitley, Kelly's fiancée.
I don't get it.
Well, last night, an editor friend of mine ran some film for me. This blow-up is from film taken in the corridor of the courthouse just moments before Lennox was shot.
Any idea what she was doing there?
Well, there's no record of Albin's subpoena. Barnaby thinks that she was used to make Albin think that it was legitimate.
Next, you'll tell me that it was Kelly who pulled the trigger.
No, that's the reason I blew up that picture. No amount of disguise could make this fella look like him. I got a hunch he's a pro and a good one.
Well, you do plan to tell me why you think this fellow's the one that hit Lennox.
In analyzing the film, he is the only one that could have pulled the trigger and have a chance to plant the gun on Albin. Recognize him?
I don't know. If there was no mustache and the hair was just a little lighter, I've had flyers on a guy named Riker out of Cincinnati.
Professional killer?
No, no convictions. They just send us an alert when they think he might be headed this way, but I can't be sure.
No mustache. Lighter hair. That closer?
That's close enough. But if he made the hit, where's the motive?
Now, Lieutenant, I'm not going to tie this up in as neat a package as they did on Albin.
Barnaby, that was the television station. When they went to send the film out this morning, it was missing.
Did they check Wilcox?
Snipper didn't show up for work this morning, and they can't locate him.
He's the man who got the film for me.
I'll have it checked out.
Thanks, Lieutenant.
Mr. Jones, I know who killed Judge Lennox. I was there. I saw it.
It must seem that way, Mr. Byrne, but hypothetically, was there anyone else who might have had a motive?
No, nobody. Judge Lennox had the best rehabilitation record in the state.
And how did he get his reputation as a hanging judge?
He didn't deserve that name. That came to him when he handed down a stiff sentence to a football player who had thrown several games. There was a lot of publicity. Everybody expected a slap on the wrist. But the judge was very firm. Clayton Lennox believed that competitive sports was the root of national character.
He actually held an Olympic medal, didn't he?
Yes, sir, he did.
Are there any recent decisions the judge handed down involving sports or sports promotion, anything like that?
No, sir. I've been going over the docket for the past 2 years. I'm certain there was nothing.
What about the future docket? Any cases there where he could have been rough on a guilty defendant?
I'll look. Here's something. The People versus Rex Turner.
Does that have anything to do with sports?
This man Turner is under indictment for attempting to fix a state welterweight title fight.
By any coincidence, does Mr. Turner have any connection with World Promotion Enterprises?
As a matter of fact, he's president of the company. I remember that because his attorneys tried very hard to get the case taken off Judge Lennox's docket.
It's off now, isn't it?
Mr. Jones.
Miss Whitley. Oh, Mr. Kelly certainly is a fortunate man. Have both a secretary and a fiancé all wrapped up in one pretty package.
Thank you.
I think I have some good news for him. Could I see him for just a moment?
I'll see.
I think the staircase is too wide at this point.
Well, perhaps we'll just move this whole section. Yes?
Mr. Barnaby Jones to see Mr. Kelly?
Send him in.
Ah, Mr. Jones.
Mr. Kelly.
Come right in. This is our president, Rex Turner. Barnaby Jones.
You do. I know you'll be happy to learn that the doctors tell me that Greg has a better than a 50-50 chance of making it.
Oh, that is good news.
But he faces the rest of his life in prison.
Maybe not. That is, if you can help me. Is this man an employee of yours?
Well, I don't believe so. Who is it?
I believe his name is Riker. And it could just be that he is the man who murdered Judge Lennox.
Oh, come, Mr. Jones, that's a bit of a reach, isn't it?
Not really. You see, that picture is blown up from some film taken in the courtroom corridor the morning Judge Lennox was killed. I have another picture of Miss Whitley, taken at the same place, same time.
Well, that's a very good likeness. But that's not me.
No, couldn't be. Joan was here all that morning.
You may have to prove that, Miss Whitley.
She can. But your implication that this photo was genuine will have to be proved. Otherwise, I won't allow you to intimidate one of my employees. Do you have that film?
Funny. That sounds like a question you already have the answer to. Don't bother, I'll find my way out.
Get Riker on his car phone. Have him hit him now.
Well, what'd you find out?
Afraid I'm losing my touch. Take a snake and 6 pounds of dynamite to shake that bunch.
Well, do you think it could be wrong?
What troubles me is how they can stay so cool when they know I'm so close. Betty, do exactly as I tell you.
What is it?
That's Riker behind us. Go inside and call Lieutenant Biddle. Now. Freeze, Riker. Drop it. Too bad, Riker. There's one contract you should have let Turner put out for bids.
Mr. Jones, I appreciate everything you've done for me, for both of us. But I think I should apologize.
No need to. Since Riker admitted he killed Judge Lennox and Snipper Wilcox, Turner, Kelly, and his girlfriend are apologizing for you.
To Lieutenant Biddle.
Betty, let you and I get out of here and leave Mr. and Mrs. Albin a little time to themselves.
Thank you for everything. Both of you.
Oh, by the way, I have a lawyer friend who said in view of your record and all you've been through, and the fact it's been in the paper and all, the governor might have a sympathetic ear for a pardon.
That's too much to even wish for.
I don't know. My mother always used to say, wishes come true for good people. You both qualify.
Thank you very much.
Barnaby Jones, starring Buddy Ebsen. Also starring Lee Merriweather, with guest stars Jack Cassidy, Estelle Winwood, Kathy Lee Crosby, special guest star Anne Francis. Tonight's episode, Murder in the Doll's House.
You're always scribbling, Harry.
It's a compulsion.
I thought I might flush out some birds. He used to come up here by the old water tank. It's a favorite spot of mine. Shall we up the hill?
Well, I thought you were going to shoot me, Craig.
Oh, you writers in your imagination.
Over the phone, you said you wanted to talk.
I just wanted to tell you how much I admire your work. All of your books, Harry.
Thanks, Craig.
You really do write well, Harry. But you got too close.
The main reason that I came here to Los Angeles was for this book publishing convention, Mr. Jones. Now, Harry Doyle was supposed to meet me here. When he didn't, I called him up at the inn in Los Reyes.
When was this, Mr. Randall?
3 days ago. Now, the desk clerks keep telling me that he hasn't checked out. But nobody's seen him for the last 10 days. And I got to get back to New York.
What would he be doing in Los Reyes?
Soaking up atmosphere for his new book. Los Reyes was his old hometown. He kept sending us pages as he finished each chapter. Well, I never did get to Palm Springs. Oh, please, don't unpack.
Sorry. Did you check the police?
Sure. But, really, I'd rather not have them in if we can help it.
Embarrassing.
Listen, there was a time when Harry Doyle hit the booze pretty hard. Now, I'm worried about him. But I've got to be honest, I'm worried about the book. I want that ending, the last pages. We're setting up to run galley proofs.
What's his room number at the inn?
24. Look, there is one person there who's a good friend of Harry Doyle's, knows everybody. A girl by the name of Nancy something or other. She runs the paper mill bookstore. Now, you can level with her.
When you say one person, Mr. Randall, you mean Harry isn't well liked?
His last book was about Los Reyes, too. He made a bundle. Book clubs, a movie, and a flock of enemies. Frankly, there were problems.
When people run out of problems, Mr. Randall, I'll be out of business.
After graduating from Stanford, Mr. Doyle worked on the Oakland Times. Such sweet thunder is about growing up in Los Reyes. Let's see, it was bought by Hollywood, and Harry Doyle moved down here to write the screenplay, Sherman Oaks.
Does he still live there?
No, now he drifts. He's divorced. Oh, about his first book, Such Sweet Thunder, the Los Reyes paper called it Such Sour Grapes.
Be interesting to hear what they have to say about the sequel he's writing. Betty, keep calling in case Harry Doyle comes back to L.A. His agent, Writers Guild, trade papers.
All right, I'll do that. Now, listen, you be careful, all right? I mean, I hear there are a lot of fancy women up in Los Reyes.
They better be careful. They don't realize I'm always gunning for a rich divorcee. Barnaby Jones, I called in about a reservation.
Oh, yes, Mr. Jones. Welcome to the inn. If you'll just fill out this registration card, please.
Harry Doyle returned yet?
No, sir, not yet. Mr. Jones, this is Mr. Bantry, manager of the inn.
Mr. Jones?
How do you do, Mr. Bantry?
Mr. Jones is looking for Mr. Doyle.
Oh, is that so, Mr. Jones?
I represent his publisher. Do you happen to know where he is?
I have no idea. Now, Mr. Doyle takes off 2 or 3 days at a time, gathering material for his book, or whatever writers do.
Did he mention when he returned?
Oh, he never does.
Well, that's a good writer. He keeps everyone in suspense.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Hello.
Craig, it's Roy.
Yes, Roy.
You said call in case anyone came around asking about Doyle. Well, somebody just did. Name is Jones.
Well, that tells me a lot, Roy.
Says he represents Doyle's publisher.
Figures the publishers would send a man down. They got a big investment.
I don't like it, Craig.
It was bound to happen, Roy. I told you that. Will you stop whining?
What do you want me to do?
Just keep your eye on him discreetly. And Roy, don't worry.
Gratuity, $1.
Harry's new novel is really fabulous. And I'm not just saying that. I'm objective. I've got to be to own a bookstore. Harry Doyle's The Sun and Children really lets the air into this town.
You mean you've read it before it's even finished?
All that he's written. To about page 300, I think. Harry asks me to read his stuff. I guess I laugh in all the right places. Are you his editor then, Mr. Jones?
No. I'm a private investigator hired by his publisher.
Why?
Find Harry and find out where's the rest of the book.
A man your age, Mr. Jones? You're a new kind of private eye.
That's a nice way of saying I'm an old kind of private eye. Miss Erdmore, to me, old age has always seemed to be 15 years older than I am.
Hi, Nancy. Miriam wanted me to pick up that new Alan Watts book.
Oh, I'm sorry I'm sold out, but I'll call her as soon as they come in. Say, maybe Craig can help you. He and Harry are old friends. Craig, this is Barnaby Jones from Los Angeles. Craig Woodridge.
How do you do, Mr. Woodridge?
Jones?
Mr. Jones is a private investigator. He's looking for good old Harry Doyle.
Oh, no kidding. Well, we all know how Harry likes to take off.
You and Harry are old friends?
Yeah. Went to high school together.
Harry goes off on these trips of his alone, I take it.
Oh, yeah. Harry marches to quite a different drummer. Suddenly he'll be driving up to Morro Bay to get a look at those sea otters or backpacking in the Sierras. Shoot, I gotta be going. I work. Say, we're having a little get-together early this evening. Lots of locals. Nancy, you'll be there. Ananitas. Like you to join us, Mr. Jones. Maybe Harry will show up, or maybe somebody there might have seen him. Informal.
That's very kind of you, Mr. Woodridge. I'll be looking forward to it.
Good. See you, Nance.
Bye. A little get-together. Command performance is more like it. You see, it's a ritual in Los Reyes that the last Thursday of every month is set aside for Anita Woodridge's party. She's Craig's great aunt. She receives in the twilight hours, and if you're Los Reyes society, you show up or drop dead.
Very hospitable man, Mr. Woodridge. What does he do?
Stocks and bonds, and he has this crazy routine about how hard he works. Don't you believe it?
How come, if I may ask?
Connections. His father-in-law got the partnership for him.
Oh, that's Miriam's father.
Hey, you pay attention, don't you? Miriam it is. Miriam Drake. And Miriam is not only a beauty, but she comes from just the right people. And there is nothing but money, money, money. Craig's marrying the local heiress is one of those stories everybody sort of knows and talks about. You see, Craig's aunt had a fortune, but she let it slip away. Now, Craig had always expected to live in luxury. But by the time he was out of school, the Woodridge money had run out. Thank you. And so had the Woodridge family line. Then Craig landed Miriam and saved the whole works.
What's the matter?
Outside of talking too much? Listen, I'm really worried about Harry. I wasn't before, but now you're here and you're looking for him. It's serious, isn't it?
Oh, as Mr. Woodridge says, Harry's probably just out looking at otters. Miss Erdmore, unless you have other plans, I'd like to take you to the party tonight.
I don't have a date, and if I did, I'd think about breaking it.
That's very flattering. Where and what time?
Anytime after 5 and right here.
Fine.
Listen, let me put you on hold. My secretary tells me there's a call from California. Yes, hello. Oh, hello, Mr. Jones.
I'm in Los Reyes. Looks like your hunch might just turn out to be correct. As far as the people here know, Harry's just off on another one of his jaunts.
But he must know we're waiting for those last pages.
How many has he turned in so far?
Just a minute. 301 pages, up to the end of chapter 12. Why?
Yes, that checks with his carbon copy, 301.
But that can't be the end of the book.
Yeah, I know. That's what's so funny. I found another page back of his wastebasket. It's from first draft. He just started on it. It's numbered 334.
334? Did you find any other pages up to there?
No, that's why I wanted to check.
33 pages are around there somewhere, the last chapter. Find them. Send them to me, airmail, special, registered. And call me.
Yes, sir.
I mean, find Harry, too, of course. Give him hell and tell him to call me. You got it? Now, excuse me. I'm talking to Washington.
A private investigator, Craig. That's not good. Sneaking into Harry's room?
You stop worrying, Roy. He'll nose around for a week, earn his fee, and live it up on his expenses. And he'll go away. What can he find out anyway? I'm playing the nice, friendly, rather dense, rich guy for him. Showing him around the club.
You think that's smart?
Certainly it's smart. Throw him a few curves.
I hope you know what you're doing.
Yeah. Look at it this way, Roy. This doesn't work. We're just gonna have to go one step further. Oh, that turns me on. Oh, I don't mean the scent you use. It's the aroma of Miriam that's underneath.
What's with you the last couple of days? You've been so playful.
I'm always playful.
Come on, Buster, you can't pull that off.
I'm not trying to pull anything off.
What people don't know about people. We've known each other all our lives. We've been married for 6 years. Still seems as if we've been walking on opposite sides of the street.
It's ridiculous, Miriam.
No, it isn't. But it doesn't matter. Most people spend all their lives walking on the other side of the street. I'm sorry, Craig.
Oh, don't ever be sorry.
I am. I've been thinking a lot about Tom Jordan lately.
You're telling me?
After all these years. I don't know. He just seems to be in my head, smiling that nutty smile of his.
Miriam, please don't dwell on the past.
I'm not dwelling on it. I like it. Maybe it's Harry Doyle. Coming back, stirring everything up. Talking about the good old days. Harry reminds me of Tom.
Well, that's crazy. They're nothing alike. Tom was a lot bigger. He was 15 pounds heavier.
Men see. Size, shape, and haircuts. Women see other things. You suppose Harry will be there tonight?
How should I know? Probably out somewhere on a binge.
No, Harry doesn't drink like that anymore.
Well, maybe not. But you sure are lately.
Mm-hmm. Do you mind? Here we are at the Los Reyes tribal dance. It's an ancient rite.
That's a pretty good cross-section of the tribe here already. Mike, for instance. Now, Mike is our top polo player. Mucho machismo. But he has a secret. For a long time, no girl over 25 could bring Mike to those ecstatic heights he enjoys so much. Then they had to be 20. And now Mike needs his young girls in bunches.
And over there, Mr. Jones, is Louise. The lady known as Lou has an insatiable appetite for lifeguards, beach boys, delivery boys. If you think that Nancy and I are just a couple of witchy gossips, everyone knows. Especially after what Harry did in his first book.
Indirectly, of course.
Seems to me nobody around here would mind too much if his new book was never printed.
Here she comes. Craig's great Aunt Anita.
Harry, all you have to see, of course. And Phil and Helen. Nice to see you, Phil. Helen, I've loved your work over the years. What's the doll?
Aunt Anita has hundreds of dolls. She talks to them. She feeds them. She buys them clothes. I guess she likes them because they don't give her any arguments.
Anita's a bit odd, but she's still the matriarch of Los Reyes.
How is she, Craig?
She asked me about going out on a picnic, which took place about 25 years ago, so I'd say Aunt Anita's pretty much the same.
Harry was always fascinated by her.
Is she in either of the books?
Oh, every one of the old guard is in Harry's book. More or less.
Hey, about those missing pages, I was just thinking. Harry works once in a while in my place. Your friend and mine, Roy Bantry, complains that Harry's typing at night annoys the guests. Maybe those pages are in his stuff up there. He's not exactly famous for neatness.
Well, could we go take a look now?
Want to?
What? Leave the party? It's just beginning to roll.
Downhill?
Jones, what about a little golf tomorrow?
Well,
if not golf, what about shooting some ski?
Well, that's more my speed. Thanks.
Great. About 11. Ski club, anybody at the inn can tell you where it is.
You people at Los Reyes are most hospitable. Thank you. Good night. Good night, Miss Woodridge.
Good night, Mr. Jones.
Good night.
Good night.
This 12% wine doesn't seem to be what the doctor ordered.
1 double scotch coming straight from the bar.
No criticism?
You're a big girl, Mary.
There can't be other pages. I keep tabs on that carbon in Doyle's room.
You lean too hard on him about the noise. He's been working over at Nancy, she said.
He was keeping my guests awake.
Well, now Mr. Jones and Nancy are on the way over to the paper mill. You follow them. It's getting dark in another half hour. And try and find out if they come up with something.
The bar guarantee this to have a bell?
I don't think anybody can guarantee your bells any longer.
I thought maybe the champagne would do it. It isn't really a bell. I don't know what it is. But it does ring. Then everything's quiet, peaceful, for a little while. You know, I think your Aunt Anita maybe has the right idea. She always seems so happy somehow.
You call that happy?
You know, when things went sour. When Tom Jordan drowned.
Thanks a lot. That's when we got married.
Sour. They've never really been sweet since. Have they, darling?
Mostly research stuff, looks like. More research stuff.
Roy Bantry. Who was first to reach the deep waters were Tom Jordan. These are all about Tom Jordan's water skiing accident.
Mm-hmm. He and Miriam were engaged, you know. Then about 6 months after he drowned, Miriam married Craig. Well, that looks like about everything, Barnaby.
Yeah. Say, do you mind if I hold on to these for a day or so?
Sure. And I'm sorry I wasn't any more help.
Say, you're my date. Can I take you home?
No, thanks. I've got a few things to do around here. But it was a nice date.
Yeah. Me too. Good night.
Good night. But they took money, too.
Just to cover.
You think Craig had someone follow us?
He knew we were coming here. And why?
But who slugged you?
I don't know. Those missing pages of that book must be pretty hot. I've got to find them.
These clippings don't mean a thing. Everybody knows the newspaper version.
The missing pages might not say anything either.
Yeah, they might. Remember Harry talked to my dear old aunt.
Your Aunt Anita is all fuzzy. She'll never remember.
Oh, don't you kid yourself. That old dame still has her moments of clarity.
So, what do we do?
Watch, Jones. He's in Harry's footsteps.
Ah, Mr. Bantry. I've been looking for you.
Oh, what can I do for you, Mr. Jones?
Oh, I wanted to tell you how much I'm enjoying your service. It's very personal.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Anything I can do to make your stay more pleasant?
Well, yes, there is. Since you were the first on the scene when Tom Jordan was drowned.
Oh, that was so long ago. Why are you interested?
Well, it's part of the town history, practically, and I wanted to talk to an eyewitness.
Well, let's see. I was fishing the lake in a rowboat. It's a good bass lake, that Lake Emerald. Craig Woodridge and Tom Jordan were water skiing. Tom was skiing, Craig was driving the boat. Jordan lost control around a turn, hit a buoy, knocked him unconscious, sank like a stone. Oh, it was a terrible tragedy.
And Jordan went under before Craig could get to him?
That's correct. Before Craig Woodridge could get back. Of course, they were going pretty fast. Craig had to make a big turn to come back.
And you were the only witness?
Correct. Nobody else out there fishing that time of the morning.
Newspapers at the time said that you were working as a clerk in a liquor store.
Oh, I've had lots of jobs. Food, beverages.
Now you're an innkeeper.
Right.
With a place of your own. It is your own, isn't it? Fee title, according to your record, paid in full. It's quite a success story. Well, pays to work hard and save your money.
Craig's always late. I don't quite know how to say this. Last night, Nancy and I did a little bit of talking out of school. Thank you.
Yes, I know how it is. Sometimes there's a lot to be said in a lady's favor, but the other's a lot more interesting. I wanted you to fill me in anyway. Not that I like to poke around in the past.
Oh, I just got back from there.
What can you tell me about the water skiing accident?
Harry asked me all about that, too. Listen, where is that guy? Does anybody know?
Not a clue.
I didn't see it. I was taking a tennis lesson when it happened. When Roy Bantry called from the dock for more help, we all rushed down. But it was too late. Craig was wonderful. He dived and dived trying to reach Tom. He nearly passed out. When they finally did grapple Tom's body, it was too late.
I'm sorry to bring this up.
It's just such a shock, you know. You know Tom and I were engaged. We were going to be married in a month. It was a shock for the whole town. Aunt Anita more than anybody.
Really?
In lots of ways, she was closer to Tom and me than our own parents, even. She really took Tom's death badly. That's when she started staying in. Working on her doll collection. She didn't even leave the house when Craig and I were married.
I may want to talk to her. You think it'll be all right?
Sure.
Well, good morning, Jones. Ready for a little shooting?
Certainly, Mr. Woodridge. Raring to go.
Good.
What do I wish you two? Happy skeets?
Let's go, huh?
Oh, is that what you're having straight?
It's good for the eyesight and reflexes.
I must say you have quite a background for an investigator, Jones. Graduate school, degree in forensics.
You checked me out.
I had to. It's a private club.
Well, Mr. Woodridge, degrees are nice to hang on your wall. I'm glad I have mine, but I've always tried not to let book learning interfere with my education. Shall we get after these clay pigeons?
That's what we're here for.
Your Honor, sir.
Thank you. Pull!
Good shooting, Jones.
Pull!
You're not bad yourself. You and Roy Bantry have been friends a long time.
You mean Bantry from the inn? Yes.
Ever since the water skiing accident.
About then. Pull.
Shame you couldn't have reached Jordan on time.
Well, I tried.
Pull! Yes, I know you tried. Miriam told me. She's very proud of you. Said you risked your life to save him.
Well, naturally, of course, Could we shoot? I mean, I don't see what this has to do with anything.
Hey, chums. But let me show you how that's done.
Are you crazy? You want to kill somebody?
Come on, Craig. Let me have a go at it.
Miriam.
Here, hold my drink.
Quiet.
Oh, oh, that beautiful scotch.
Why don't you go sit down?
Thought you knew my great-grandmother was Annie Oakley.
Go on back to your watering hole.
I'll get some more shells.
You really think you have something, huh?
Could be, could be. Yeah, check it.
Check it.
scalp hair, the comb. Yeah. One from the comb fell out naturally. The other one was pulled out. You notice on the hair that was pulled out, that's the one on the top. The root is full and seems to have traces of blood on it.
They look identical.
Same diameter, similar medulla. Both hairs came from Harry Doyle, one from his comb, the other from the jacket of the suspect. Now, the third hair, the black one, that didn't come from Harry's comb, I found it on the lapel of Harry's jacket. Human hair. Funny. It's not oily. Cut on one end, something, not a root on the other. Oriental hair. Perfectly round, definite medulla.
That's why their hair hangs so beautifully.
Oriental hair. Cut on one end, something, not a root on the other. Glue. Doll's hair.
With all this water skiing stuff and taking care of me, he's not just some old character you can file and forget. He's trouble, Craig.
Where is he now?
I don't know where he is every minute.
I'm going out to my Ananitas. You let me know as soon as he gets back to the inn.
Craig, I have a business to run.
Bantry, you do as I tell you to do.
What is this with you and Roy Bantry? What's going on?
There's nothing going on.
Where are you going?
Out.
When will you be back?
I have no idea.
Are you going to look for Harry?
I'm not really interested in Harry.
Craig, where is he?
How should I know? You get off my back about Harry.
You do know. Why won't you tell me? Hello?
Oh, Miriam. Is Craig there?
No, he isn't.
Has he left for his aunt's house yet?
He didn't say.
Oh. Well, thank you, Miriam. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
This is Tosho from Kyoto. A favorite of mine, aren't you, Tosho?
Harry Doyle must have liked Toshu, too.
Oh, he likes all my little friends.
You had a nice visit with Mr. Doyle.
Oh, yes, it's so pleasant talking to him. He's so kind. He asked for my help.
Oh? With what?
He's a writer, you know, Mr. Doyle is. Oh, yes, a famous one.
Well, then you helped him with his novel.
Well, he said he was going to write about my friends. My real friends. Now, you come on over and let me introduce you. Girls, this is Mr. Jones.
How do you do?
That's Betty. That's Fran. That's Edith. And that's Susie. Mr. Jones is a friend of Mr. Doyle's. Do you remember the nice parties we had with Mr. Doyle?
Mrs. Woodridge. Who's this in the bed? The young man.
That's Craig. Poor Craig. He's sick.
Really? Craig. Why is he sick?
The doctors don't know. The terrible thing is that Craig doesn't even know he's sick. Now, I'm going over the master bedroom. Will you excuse me if I...
Surely. What's that on the floor? Looks like a piece of manuscript paper.
No, dear. That's a drop cloth to keep the paint from getting on the rug.
This is one of Harry Doyle's manuscript pages.
Oh, dear. Oh, I didn't realize. I thought... Did I get any paint on it?
Yes, a little, but it doesn't matter. Do you have the rest of the pages?
Yes. Mr. Doyle said he wanted to be perfectly sure about... It was somewhere here. Mr. Doyle and I are working on it. He was going to be back, Wednesday. Yes, next Wednesday. Oh, you found it. Good.
Oh, do you mind if I read it?
Why, of course not. It's beautifully written. Just make yourself at home.
It is beautifully written.
What did I tell you?
There's a part here that confuses me a little.
What's that, dear?
What about Tom Jordan? The character that would be Craig in real life let Tom drown. He didn't try to help him. That Craig let Tom drown.
Yes, it's true. Terrible, but true. That's why Craig is sick. The difference between Craig and me is, well, I'm sick, but I know that I am. And that's why I hope Craig will get better soon. Mr. Doyle does too. It's time. It was the lies that made Craig sick. At first it seemed all right, but of course it never was. Craig came and told me, and we both kept the secret. But when lies have been buried too long, they fester, they rankle. Harry Doyle is right. It's time to let in some light.
Yes, but not now, Auntie. Mr. Jones and I are going to hunt some pheasants.
Oh, wonderful. We haven't had any fresh game in such a long time. Good hunting.
Yes, of course, you go on with what you're doing, Aunt.
Oh, my, yes, I've got all this wallpapering to do.
Of course.
So you killed Harry Doyle?
Oh, could old Harry Doyle get himself killed? Where's the body?
Bet if we dig around here, we find it.
Just keep moving.
Anita knows we're out here.
Anita? I'll just have to take my chances. Right there.
She told me he let Tom Jordan die. Damn you. I loved him.
Shooting's all over now.
That's sure a lousy way to get a novel written.
Yep.
He's quite a guy.
Wish I'd known him.
Do you have to go back right away?
No.
Huh. how would you like to go up to Morro Bay and see if we can find some sea otters?
I think that'd be a wonderful idea.
You know, I may never come back to this darn town.
Let's talk about that on the way. You know, there's something about looking at the ocean when you're thinking about your problems that makes them seem, well, not as big as you thought they were.
That sounds very comforting and very cliche.
It is a cliche. And you know why it's a cliche? Because it's true.